The Glock, one of the most famous names in firearm history, but this iconic handgun has a lot of secrets in its past. Here are 15 things you never knew about the Glock pistol. Number 15. Didn't start with guns. The company's namesake, Gaston Glock, was born in 1929 in the First Austrian Republic and worked as an engineer. He started his corporation in the years after the Second World War and set out to become the world's most successful manufacturer of curtain rods. We suppose they could be used as weapons. He got a little closer to his iconic invention in the 1970s when Glock got into the manufacture of knives for the Austrian military, but he never designed any kind of firearm until he was in his 50s. Number 14. Military makings. Glock got its start in housewares, but it quickly gained a reputation as one of the best manufacturers for military supplies. Not only were its knives top quality, but it got into developing training grenades, casings, and machine gun belt links that would hold up in the field. That created a need for mass production as the rebuilding Austrian military wanted supplies. So in 1980, Gaston Glock bought an injection molding machine to quickly produce polymer components for the equipment, and that was the beginning of a new era. Number 13. Glock stands out. What makes Glock guns stand out from the competitions? For one thing, they've almost shockingly lightweight. This makes them easy to carry and aim, no matter whether someone's an experienced marksman or has never picked up a gun before. So exactly how does it get away with being that light? While the inner makings of the gun are primarily steel, almost all exterior parts are made from a lightweight and durable polymer that gives it a distinct plastic feel. Number 12. Ready, set, assemble. Most machines have countless parts that can be nearly impossible for an untrained person to disassemble and put back together. But the Glock proves that sometimes simple is better. The Glock 17 and every model that came after it have only 34 parts. Diagrams are available online that show exactly how to strip a gun and put it back together. So why is the Glock designed as such a simple machine? Well, the Austrian military wanted it that way. The initial contract wanted a simple gun with no more than 58 parts, and Gaston Glock did them one better. Simpler than expected and under budget, a rarity for design projects. Our next fact shows that Glock was not just willing to place his reputation on his firearm design, but his fingers. Number 11. Safety first. Gaston Glock tested his new, unique guns himself, and those who watched him shoot the lightweight pistols noticed something interesting. He would always shoot them with his non-dominant left hand. That showed that the gun was easy to use with any hand, but there was also a darker reason behind this unconventional stance. There's a risk with trying any new gun design, and a catastrophic failure could easily blow off some fingers on the tester's hand. Well, Glock figured he could spare those fingers more on his left than his right, but his design was sound, and he came out of testing with all 10 intact. Number 10. Gun runners. The polymer exterior of Glock handguns is made of the mysterious named Polymer 2 today. The company keeps its trade secrets close to its chest, and many business investigators have tried to figure out its secrets. While the company isn't talking, the mystery of the exterior of the Glock 19 have been cracked, with analysts believing it could be Zytel nylon, one of the most wear and tear resistant polymers out there. It's best known as the material used to make highly resistant track shoes worn by Olympic sprinters, meaning fast bullets and fast runners could have something in common. Number 9. A secret weapon. The Glock 17 is the original model, and the Glock 19 is the modern upgrade. So what happened to the Glock 18? Well, it's very similar to the others, with one big difference: it can shift between semi-auto mode and fully auto mode. And in fully auto mode, it can shoot as fast as it can be reloaded, with a maximum capacity of a stunning 1,200 rounds a minute. There's only one problem. The danger of a fully auto handgun in the hands of criminals would be massive, and most countries, including the US, have banned their sale. So the Glock 18 remains a highly rare piece of contraband in most places, except where it's used as a military weapon. Number 8. Hollywood superstar. It wasn't long before movies and TV got into the act of promoting the hottest gun around. It's made one of its earliest appearances in the forgotten action movie Freejack, where it played alongside Mick Jagger. It would later be wielded by TV heroes including Agent Fox Mulder of The X-Files and the Best Picture-winning heroes of The Hurt Locker. But its most iconic appearance would be in Die Hard 2: Die Harder, where Bruce Willis's John McClane would claim it as an undetectable porcelain gun. Hey, John McClane kicked asses, not taught science classes. Number 7. Are you in the club? For many people, Glock isn't just a handgun, it's a way of life. Not only do they collect the firearms, but they're members of the Glock Sport Shooting Foundation. Aiming to raise the awareness of target shooting as a sport, it has over 22,000 members and organizes over 100 shooting events every year. All you need to do is compete with a Glock pistol and pay a membership fee, which is included in the purchase of a Glock gun. While there's some controversy over the Foundation's family-friendly shooting events, Glock defends the group as a good way to teach firearm safety. Number 6. Exponential growth. When Glock was founded in 1963, it was a tiny company of only 3 employees, meaning Gaston Glock had to do much of the work by himself. Since then, it's become an international sensation, but it's still a small company by comparison to many international brands. It's still privately held and can't be invested in on the stock market like other major gun brands such as Sturm Ruger. While much of its manufacturing is handled outside the company, the actual Glock GmbH Corporation only has just under 1,200 employees as of 2013, a fraction of what other weapons manufacturers do and a testament to its humble beginnings. But the Glock Corporation may be facing some serious problems. Number 5. Financial troubles. Glock has been targeted by multiple embezzlement schemes over the years, and it wasn't low-level employees looking to get rich. High-ranking members of the company have been indicted and convicted for racketeering, including the former CEO of the U.S. subsidiary Glock Inc. So what made this company so vulnerable to financial crimes? Well, it probably doesn't help that the company's structure is more than a little complicated. The company uses shell companies around the world to run its business, helping it avoid high taxes in developed countries by operating in tax havens. Number 4. More dangerous than the average guns? Glock pistols lack one feature common to your average handgun, a safety. While this is common in handguns to prevent them from accidentally going off at home, Glocks instead use a more complicated safe action system that disengages automatically when the trigger squeezes. This means the gun is less likely to go off accidentally, but is still dangerous should it wind up in the hand of someone who shouldn't be holding it. The reason for this change? Glock wasn't designed for civilian use, but for military and police use, and they would want the ability to fire to be as accessible as possible. More dangerous? That depends on who's holding it. Number 3. Lots of choice. What do gun aficionados have in common with Pokemon players? For some, you've got to catch them all. That's why Glock releases a lot of varieties to its standard models. While the Glock 17 and 19 are the most challenging models, there are many variations of each with slightly different sights, frames, and other features. They've also introduced new smaller models ideal for concealed carry, which means they have a shorter and slimmer build designed for slipping into a pocket. Number 2. Still kicking. Gaston Glock was born in 1929, lived through the Second World War, founded his company 59 years ago, and is still going strong at almost 93 years old. He is still the majority owner of the company, although that may be pending. He and his wife of 53 years divorced in 2011, and battles are still ongoing. With a net worth of just over $1 billion, he remains active in both charity and politics in his native Austria. But that long life hasn't been without close calls. Number 1. Still kicking, barely. For a man whose life's work is centered around guns, Gaston Glock's closest call came in an unexpected way. It was 1999, and he had just uncovered that one of his most trusted advisors, Charles Everett, had been embezzling from the company. Glock confronted the man personally, but Everett had come prepared. He had hired a French mercenary to assassinate Glock, and the hired goon attacked with a large mallet. It may not have been the best choice of weapon, as the 70-year-old Glock was able to fight back, and both Everett and his henchmen were eventually convicted of attempted slaying. That's all for this video, folks. See you another time.